Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, an arrest has been made after a horrifying incident at the WWE Performance Center.
Could Karrion Kross leave WWE?
We've also got the latest on AJ Styles maybe leaving WWE.
And Vince McMahon sells some more WWE shares. I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
All right, let's talk about this arrest at the Performance Center. So, I did see this yesterday morning when I was doing the news rounds. Somebody who I assume was at the PC for the NXT show on Tuesday night tweeted the following. And we didn't aggregate it at the time because I don't know the account.
Speculation at that point,
yeah,
isn't
exactly. And look, I wouldn't think that somebody would deliberately put nonsense out there. But, I wanted to wait for an official report. And we've got one now. But the original tweet was from NXT with Najee, who tweeted, a legit stalker was arrested outside of the PC tonight. Multiple bags of evidence taken in by police officers. I wish I was making this up. You'll need help. Seriously, SMH. So, PW Insider, later in the day, came through with a report. I tell you what, why don't I just read you this word for word? Because, it certainly doesn't need us editorializing anything like this. WWE sources, speaking on the condition of anonymity this afternoon, confirmed to PWInsider.com that there was another arrest last night at the WWE NXT taping at the WWE Performance Center. The story making the rounds that a suspected stalker for Liv Morgan was apprehended outside the Performance Center is 100% legitimate based on what we were told this afternoon. So they've confirmed this with somebody in the company who is speaking anonymously, and understandably so. Yes. It's a very sensitive incident. The arrest was not made by local authorities, we are told, which means a much larger agency is involved. The suspect is currently being held. The situation is completely separate from the earlier reported arrest, which I assume is talking about this original tweet here.
Yeah.
So potentially separate incidents here. Look, this is completely insane. I don't really know how to kind of summarize this because obviously, pretty monstrous stuff. There's monstrous things like this that go on, when it comes to celebrities and the culture and all of that stuff all the time. And we've seen it a few times in wrestling. There was a previous arrest at the Performance Center a few years ago that I remember we covered. And obviously Sonya Deville was subjected to that home invasion and stuff like this. Look, there's a lot of unwell people out there.
Asuka had some weird stuff happen to her a while.
Yeah, she did. She tweeted about it a few months ago about people just harassing her and stuff. And it's man, I'm just glad that the authorities intervened.
Yes.
And that seemingly this person was caught before they could do. At the moment, even right now, right? I'm not going to name the account or even the person it's targeting, right? But you've probably seen this Twitter account where it's is X still alive? And it's I think people don't understand, the flippancy with which these things are treated sometimes is really ugly and really brutal. And look, it sounds like an actual crime has been committed here. Somebody stalking or showing up at the PC. Can't imagine Liv Morgan was at the PC, which is good, but again, that's just speculation or whatever. Look, glad the person was arrested. Pretty disturbing thing to read about. Yeah, there we go. That's all we know about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, we're not going to editorialise this anymore or speculate on anything like that. Just to reiterate everything you've said. And, we're all fans of certain wrestlers, but I think we have to... I hate that we have to reiterate there should be boundaries to this sort of thing. And, even to an extent of if someone says they don't like your favourite wrestler online, that's fine. Yeah, it's their opinion. Let's not be weird to each other. Let's all just enjoy wrestling together. But taking it to this extreme is absolutely outrageous, and I'm just glad that no one seemingly was hurt. Yeah,
absolutely. So, look, if there's any more updates on this, we'll bring you some more on it, obviously, because it's a big story. But, let's move over to some more positive stuff. Hey, look, how about a great example of wrestling fandom from the past few days?
Yes.
Have you seen this geezer, Dante Turo? On Twitter, learning about New Japan, learning about different wrestling companies. He's watching Mike Bailey versus Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
He's watching Shibata matches, Omega matches. Shouts to him. He's a huge creator, actually, a huge wrestling creator. So, like, me sitting here going, that guy, he's huge. But shouts to him. Open-minded, curious wrestling fans. You love to see it. Go exploring. You might find your new favorite thing. And also, hey, this is a bit of a demented transition, I'm aware, but
wrestling fans can do great things.
They can indeed. You guys have been extremely generous so far with the fundraiser I'm running right now, right? And I'm going to plug it again. I don't do it often. I don't like to throw it out every week or anything like that. But this September, I'm running a half. I'm running a half. Look at this guy. This marshmallow man is running a half marathon. I'm running it in aid of the British Heart Foundation, in memory of my late father Jim, who passed away last year. If you wondered why I went missing from the channel last year, that's why. You guys have been extremely generous so far in raising just an amount of money that is so far above what I thought was achievable. But if you got anything to spare at all, like even if it's 5 cents, man, like it's very much appreciated. Justgiving.com/page/Andy H. Murray is the URL for that. There's a link down below as well. Yeah, man, like it's been really actually quite overwhelming, the level of support so far. And every time I see that number go bip, 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 it's like another little jolt of motivation.
It's amazing.
It's
I want to reiterate the thanks for donating to Andy's and all the fundraisers we've had recently. Phil's got one. I've done stuff in the past, obviously, for like Movember and what have you, but it is genuinely lovely. I know obviously it's such an important cause for you, and seeing you have to be like, I'm going to have to change the target because we're like far exceeding it is just amazing.
It's mental.
How is your Great North Run preparations going?
Well, I sprained my ankle at the weekend.
Oh, God.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not getting foot out on the news because, but it's like purple. It's not great.
You'll be fine. I broke my toe about 6 weeks before I did the Great North Run.
I'm just going to toughen up, man. I'm just going to strap that puppy
It is
up.
an awesome. You've done the Great North Run before?
No. I've never ran longer than 5K.
That's amazing.
Until I started training for this, I'd never ran longer than 5K.
It is amazing, and the atmosphere around it. We will be there, myself, my wife, and my child will be there cheering you on. Boo! Sprain your ankle!
Yeah. Justgiving.com/page/Andy H. Murray. Anything is wonderful. I really appreciate it. Hey, look, there we go. That's some nice positive stuff. Let's talk about some silly wrestling stuff.
Yes, let's take our mind off things in terms of talking about Karrion Kross. It's a weird place he's in right now. That it feels like never has fan support been more behind Karrion Kross. He's kind of not wrestled very often whatsoever, and yet he still has one of the highest selling pieces of merch on WWE Shop, if I'm not mistaken. And now, another twist in the tail, some great reporting again from Fightful Select, who say there are just a few months remaining on Kross's contract. We've sort of speculated on a lot of this recently with all these departures from WWE with contracts not being renewed, like R-Truth, Carlito. The Miz has been in the conversation as well in that speculation. But Karrion Kross, might be in that same pool of people who are in the midst of a contract renewal, and yet Karrion has not been approached, according to Fightful, about a contract extension or renewal. It hasn't been said if they've indicated interest in doing so, according to sources close to the situation and Kross. Now, this is weird because I'll admit, like, I've flip-flopped on Karrion Kross over his years within WWE. Like when he first arrived and was, got the push to the moon in NXT, I was a big fan of his. Then unfortunately he got released, then he got brought back. And then he's had a series of ooh, watch out for Karrion Kross and his evil stable. They don't really do anything, but watch out for him.
Yeah.
And yet right now, he feels at the peak of his popularity, and he's had contracts renewed or deals done in the past when he wasn't in this situation. And yet, no word or no mention of a renewal for Kross. It's strange times.
Yeah, it is. It is. I still love diving into the conspiracy theory about all this, that this is some kind of psyop.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that,
Yeah.
And so now they're not booking him or renewing his contract.
What? It's bananas.
They're going to release him and people are like, excellent play.
Masterful gambit,
Yeah, that's
sir.
it.
They'll release him and then people will let Triple H off with it again because that's what they always do. Quick to criticise Tony Khan on the other hand. But yes,
TKO's fault really.
Oh yeah, no, it's
has no involvement in it apart from making the decisions.
It's fictional boogeyman 28 from Endeavour that did all this.
I will not hear a bad word against Nick Khan, by the way.
Nick Cannon doing Hurricane Ranas and stuff like we talked about yesterday. It's weird. This is just a really weird situation.
Yeah.
It's so strange. I imagine they're going to renew him. Like Triple H likes him, obviously.
Yeah.
And look, he's a lot of fun. He's been a lot of fun since he started exploring these other aspects of his personality, for sure. So. Yeah, I just think it's the weirdest push of all time.
It is.
He now you see him, now you don't. He's backstage. He's nowhere near backstage. He's wrestled like 5 matches this year. Oh, he's interfering in matches for AJ Styles. Oh, he's no longer on
He's
TV.
interacting with big people in WWE. AJ Styles at WrestleMania, Logan Paul sort of by association. Sami Zayn a lot.
Yeah. What's he like, Littlefinger? Is he gonna get to the end?
Is his accent gonna change each episode of Monday Night Raw?
Yeah.
What happened with that? Did he just forget how he talks? Like different series of Game of Thrones, he'd turn up and be like, "Hello, I'm Littlefinger," and I'd be like, "You didn't talk like that last year."
Remember, he was in The Wire as well as
he was
Tommy Carcetti. I can't remember.
Is he at the beginning of one of the Batmans as well?
It seems like the kind of thing he would do.
Isn't he the one in the plane who's like, he didn't fly so good? Or have I got that confused? Maybe not. I don't know. Regardless, anyway.
Yeah. He got whacked in the end as well.
Yeah,
anyway.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If psyop stuff to one side, right? But in storyline, could they, and I think that they will sort this out, unlike allegedly what happened in this scenario, but do you think there could be a bit where Karrion Kross says, either on Monday Night Raw or on like the Raw recap like he did with Sam Roberts and what have you, like, my contract's running out soon. Do you think you could reference it like CM Punk did? Not in the same vein, but you know what I mean?
Kross.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they could turn it into some kind of meta storyline. I think I think most people kind of see through that kind of stuff now, so it's it's quite difficult. But they could give it a go. Why not? I thought they should have done it with McIntyre when they had the Scottish PLE. And,
someone bought him a sword, didn't they, and ruined all that.
Yeah, Dwayne. And then Dwayne ruined. He's responsible for the releases. Actually, it's the Rock's fault. Just so you're aware, it's not Triple H. It's never Triple H.
If it ever came out it was Dwayne who was responsible, by the way, I'd completely change my opinion and say whatever decisions he made was perfect. And they all deserve to be released.
He's got multiple swords. How could he be wrong? Well,
I've got some more details on Dwayne, by the way, when I get to my second story.
You're welcome.
Oh, what a guy!
Live action Moana.
I'm going to watch Moana 2 this weekend, I think.
I heard it wasn't as good as the first one. It's just, it's the slop era, of course.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
The slop era.
Welcome to top of the slops.
They did well managing Liverpool this season, so let's not...
Arnie slop. Slop ball, hell of a thing to...
You can hear Ewan banging at the door. What did you call it?
Yeah. How dare you insult my bald leader? He's bald, so I've got a degree of affection for him as well. But Liverpool Football Club is an evil entity. So it's not as evil as like Man City, obviously, But Chelsea, they're more evil.
They're all bad compared to Aberdeen and Chesterfield.
Yeah, definitely. How many of those clubs have 2 badges above their shirt?
That's the only red versus blue I ever want to see is Aberdeen and Chesterfield.
Yeah, I mean, I like red versus blue when we beat Rangers. Sometimes we don't do that a lot, folk.
How many football fans are we trying to piss off on this news?
Hey, it's just football. If you get annoyed at football, man,
that's part of the fun, isn't it? It's winding other groups of fans up.
It is, because I think, like, if you take it that seriously, it's just fun to wind you up.
Then again, I think like, oh God, it's a very tribal football and what have you. And then I see the videos outside like the stadiums when the Knicks beat the Pacers or whatever, and I'm like, oh lads, calm down.
Yeah, the rioting in the streets.
You've got like 3 more games to go.
It's the best thing ever. Celebrate every win, baby.
Yeah.
Celebrate every win.
Yeah.
Russell Martin, that's going to be funny.
It must be going in big trouble.
How many points did he get for Southampton last season?
Did he get any?
Like 5 or something? Gonna be great. Anyway, AJ Styles. I don't know who he supports. No idea at all.
Trying to think of a flat Earth team.
Is there like a team with flat in the name? I don't know. David Flattenborough.
This is like one of our football quizzes.
Yeah.
What football team has flat in its name?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments a football team that has flat in it, I guess.
Leave it with me. You tell the story.
Ice Wall Rovers. Anyway, AJ Styles, his WWE future has been the subject of a lot of speculation recently as well, because it's been reported millions and millions of times over the past year or so that his contract was expiring. It was reported that it was expiring at the end of 2024, but obviously he's had a bunch of injuries and he's been off TV for a bunch of different periods. So it's reasonable to assume that WWE may have added time on that and that he's still operating under that same deal. There's been no confirmation that he has signed a new deal or anything like that, but he's still on TV. And according to PW Insider in this new report, AJ Styles, him losing on Raw is not necessarily a sign that he is finishing up. They have been told that he is scheduled for regular Raw tapings going forward. I know a lot of people have kind of worked themselves into a bit of a, is Uncle Alan Styles going to wrestle Will Ospreay at All In? Probably not, it seems. Now, if I'm WWE, I would definitely renew AJ. If I'm one of these spreadsheet guys over there, looking at salaries and stuff, I might go, whatever. They might see it differently because they don't have any sentimentality for AJ Styles, even though he's still good and he's a legend in the game and one of the most influential wrestlers of his generation. I wouldn't let him go. But it's conceivable that maybe some numpty might go, bye-bye. You never know in wrestling, and this is a strange era. I'd like to see him go somewhere else and do other things.
Yeah.
Because it's fresh.
He's conflicted. I don't want him to lose his job, but I would love to see him in AEW.
Same. He's been in the Fed for 9 years now, man. Freshen it up a little. That'd be cool.
Won everything as well.
Yeah, go back to TNA where he was the boy. That'd be fun.
That might be one of the reasons why they kind of negotiate a new deal of we're doing all this stuff. Trick Williams, obviously.
Yeah. He'd be great for TNA business
He'd be
too.
Great, yeah.
Fantastic. Do that for a few months. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Me neither.
Styles.
Yeah, me neither. Uncle Alan.
Yeah, I can understand why people are putting two and two together and going, right, well, that means he's probably heading out the door. And if he did, it'd be sad. I'd miss him in WWE. It'd be promising, like you say, to see the matches he could have in AEW. I know Sige has got a few matches he'd like to see him do in All Elite Wrestling. So it wouldn't be the end of the world. I certainly don't think he'd struggle for work, and I don't think he's struggling for money, to be perfectly honest, with the tenure he's got within wrestling. Yeah. But yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Have him still within WWE, but involved in this TNA crossover stuff could be really good fun.
Yeah, definitely. So
I do remember there's a great talking head of him talking about the 6 sides when they changed from 6 to 4, and he was like, I hate it when you changing stuff, and then he took a bump in the 4-sided ring. He was like, maybe it's not so bad, actually.
Yeah, this is all right.
6-sided ring.
Sounds like it's a tough bumper, the 6-sided. Yeah. You know who else likes a 6-sided ring? AAA. So... there you go.
Yes!
You damn 6-siders. Yeah.
God damn it. By the way, I found a team.
Oh.
The Kangaroo Flat Football Netball Club. It's an Aussie rules football and netball club based in the Bendigo suburb of Kangaroo Flat, Victoria. So
Flat, Victoria.
I like that. They play in green and white.
Good, like an alligator.
And they're 135 years old. So.
But also like an alligator.
Yes.
Perfect. They're all like 200. Probably. I don't know.
Hang on, notable players.
Oh, who've they got? Johnny Football. Remember him? Jeez.
Phil Carman, Nathan Chipman, Brett Glory. Oh, that's a good name.
Nathan Shipman.
Nathan Chapman.
Chapman. Right, okay, I thought... Yes.
Yeah.
Shared a surname with an evil person.
And Ty Zentak.
Zentak, I like that.
Oh, good name. Anyway, let's talk about WWE and shares and Vince McMahon and what have you. He's got that new company. What's it called? 14 and I or something. Who cares? Anyway.
That's the number of crimes he's committed. Anyway, allegedly.
He has sold more shares within WWE, basically diluting his stock within the company from 4% down to 3%. I'll give you the full breakdown because I've got it here, thanks to the brilliant Brandon Thurston.
Brilliant. That's what he calls himself.
He is, and he merits it. Not the Baldy.
Balds rule, man. You
run the business.
You need to give up on this illusion.
Honestly,
I'm
not far off, pal. Endeavour has bought shares from Vince McMahon for about $250 million. That's just over 1.5 million shares, basically. Yeah. That means that, yes, by Brandon's count, if Vince McMahon hasn't made any other transactions, he still holds 6.4 million TKO shares, leaving about 3%. I've got the full breakdown of who owns what. Endeavour within TKO holds now 61.72%. There's All others companies, mostly financial institutions, they own 24%. The Vanguard Group owns 4%. Vince, as I said, 3%. State Street Corporation,
No.
2.5%. BlackRock, 2%. Stephanie McMahon, just shy of 0.98%, so just under 1%.
1%, yeah.
Linda owns 0.29%, and Dwayne Johnson owns a pathetic 0.17%.
Freak.
And yet look at the control he has, because he's the best.
That still makes him more powerful than Triple H, brother.
Yes.
So, that's pretty funny. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe he's saying, Steph, can you put my name on those shares?
Interesting tactic for a man who was, reportedly interested in buying the company back to sell his share. To be fair, maybe he phoned up and went, I want to buy the company back. And they went, no. And he went, I'm selling my shares.
Or they went, I want to buy the company back. They went, no problem, Mr. McMahon. That will be too much money.
Yeah.
You haven't got that money.
Money you should probably spend on other things at the moment,
Yeah,
you
if-
decrepit old guy.
If he sold 1.5 million shares for 250 million, and that's about 1%.
Yeah.
Do the math.
Yeah.
Maths.
What this is, same with Nick Khan yesterday, it's the share price is high, so people are selling to make some money. That's what it is.
Yes, I saw a lot of people getting excited. Well, guess Nick Khan's heading out the door. Nope.
Just apply standards, like Nick, like it's a drop in the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a drop in the ocean.
I wish 1% of something that I owned was $250 million.
My car is worth about that, so.
Yeah.
It's a 2010 Ford Fiesta, so. 2014, actually, sorry.
Oh,
fancy. Yeah. I'm a 1%er over here, so. Here's the thing. Why have a thing that costs like 200 million quid to run a month? Get a little banger. That's my life.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, get a little chugger of a car.
I've got a DeLorean. That's what I've got.
Wow. Stole it from the doctor. What's his name?
Dr. Thugonomics.
That's him. That's him.
That's why he comes in, raps at Marty McFly, tells him to suck on D's nuts or whatever, and then they go back to the future.
That famous line from Dr. Pepper.
Marty, we gotta suck on D's nuts.
Yeah. And then the DeLorean goes. Remember when they got a train? They got a train in one of them.
That's the third one. It's real bad.
Yeah, it's called the train.
That's what it's called.
Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
That's it. LNER. Lumo. Anyway. Right. Bye.
Weird news.
Algorithm thinks you'll like this.
See you later.
Bye.